Today I'm going to show you how I harvested my end of season tomatoes and got them to ripen very quickly. So don't throw them away, guys. We can get them to ripen, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did. And if this is your first time here, my name is Marlene. Welcome to Marlene's How To's, my home and garden channel. So maybe you have some cold weather coming through and you wanted to make sure that you harvested your tomatoes before that happened, but they were still green, like happened in my case. Or it's possible that, they could have gotten damaged, and it's still in the growing season. Let's go ahead and take a look to see what I did. Now, some people, of course, they actually like to have fried green tomatoes. And if that is you, then of course, that's definitely an option. You can enjoy them that way. Maybe you just wanted to enjoy some of them that way. You wanted to ripen the others. So we'll take a look at it. Of course, the ideal situation is to have your tomatoes ripen fully or partially on the vine. And this typically happens, a lot in the growing season. This one right here was the very first one that I harvested this past growing season. You can see it's a pretty good size. And of course, there are many more to come. Now, as far as tomatoes go, just to give you a little bit of a background, tomatoes have two different types of growing habits. Like these right here, these are my big boy tomatoes, and they actually are called indeterminate, which means that they continue to bear fruit right up until the first frost if you get frost in your area. The other types are called determinate tomatoes, and these ones, they give you a lot in a short window of time, and then once the crop is over, then that's going to be it. So they're typically best for like canning. You can freeze them for future use. You can dehydrate them. There are different things that you can do just to have everything at once and then save them for another time. So now, as far as tomatoes go, you may or may not know there are actually over 10,000 different species of tomatoes. Yes, guys, there are many of them out there, and we love so many different types and we enjoy them. And I'd love for you to leave me a comment if you like fried green tomatoes. I've never tried it myself. It is a southern dish that many people like, a side dish. So let me know in the comments how you feel about that. So, as I said, that's an option that you can choose, or you can have your tomatoes ripen or some of them. So let's go ahead and start with the harvesting first. So here I am over here, and these you can see, these are the indeterminate tomatoes. Like I said before, I only planted one this year, unfortunately, because we had so much to do in the backyard. We were basically doing a raised bed. We graded it out. We had a lot of projects in the garden, so I was only able to plant one. But as you can see, they grow pretty large because this is spread out to about 5 feet, and they can grow even as high as 10 feet tall. And they just keep giving you tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. So this actually was enough for us. It was pretty good because it was quite fruitful. So we're going to go in and, of course, take them off and just trim them out. And I always recommend that you have a nice sharp pair of pruners. And I'll link one that I typically use. That's not this one here, but I'll link the one I typically use in my description box below, which you have most likely seen in previous videos if you've been coming along with me. So I'm just going in and taking them out, and you can see some of them, they have a little bit of, green with a little, light green coloration in there, but we're taking all of them. So as long as they're maybe even an inch or larger, we're going to harvest them and we're going to ripen them up. And just to say, if you like flowers, you like gardening, topics and tips, you can always be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. My videos come out on Thursdays, and I have live videos on some Saturdays. So here they are, guys. You can see this one right here. This one is a little bit ripened on here, but of course it's definitely not ready yet. So we are going to go ahead and ripen all of them, every single one. Even this little one right here. Like I said, usually about an inch or so, and it's good to go. This one has a split in there, but it's still quite good. And what typically causes your tomatoes to split is that they have suddenly a lot of rain or like heavy watering and they didn't have it before, and it's going to cause it to split. And we're going to be using our apples to ripen them up. And the ones that I like using are Gala apples. That's one of my favorites. I like Pink Lady, and I also like Fuji apples. But whatever type of apple you get, it's perfectly fine. You can also use bananas if you're in an area that maybe is tropical and you don't have apples like that to use. It's an ethylene. It is a gas that they produce, and that's what ripens them up. Now you'll need to have a brown paper bag like you see I'm having over here. Do not use plastic because they still need to breathe. And if you put it in the plastic, they're going to sweat and they're going to get all weird on you. So be sure that you get a brown paper bag. Now if you have a lot of them, like you have lots and lots of trees, or vines I should say, then you can use a cardboard box if you like that has a cover, because the main thing is that you're basically keeping the light out from them. They will eventually ripen, yes, if they're out, in the open, because nightfall comes and that helps them a little bit. But the darkness is what they need. So if they get that around the clock, then that's better for them. So we have all of them packed in here, and now we're going to go ahead and have our apples added in. And what I typically do is I go in and I have 2 apples added in. Of course, you can add 1 or maybe more if you like. It just depends on what your preference is. And these are organic apples, but it doesn't matter what type of apples you use. And again, like I said, you can use bananas, whatever type you like. You can maybe put 2 bananas in there, and they're going to go ahead and release that ethylene gas, and that is what actually helps to speed up the process. So we're going to go ahead and fold it over and just tuck it in like you see I'm doing here. You can label it if you want, if you're doing multiple things. And this was just one set of what I did, because I've done this in the past before. You'll see those results too. So then I went ahead and I put it in my cupboard. Of course, you can put it in a cool pantry. You can put it maybe in a closet. And then, of course, we wait. But the main thing is not to forget that you're ripening them. Like when we ripen mangoes that way back in Jamaica, or, the Caribbean, or, other places. You can smell them if you forget them, but tomatoes, you're probably not going to smell them. You don't want to forget them there and then have them smelling, rotting on you or just getting all mushy and so on. So be sure to put it in your phones or in your calendar. I didn't want to show you though, like 2 days after I harvested them, because I knew the cold weather was coming. So I harvested them and I wanted to show you what the plant looked like afterwards. You can see that it's very damaged. So of course, if I had left them on there, they would have just been frozen and mushy when they thawed out and would have been of no use to me. I would not want to try to use them at that point. So just to show you what happens. So now it's been 5 days after. We're going to go in and take a look to see how they're looking at this point. So first we're going to take our apples out, and then we're going to go in and look at our tomatoes. And right here you can see it's looking nice and red. And unfortunately, the pop of color isn't coming the way I'd like for you to see it how it really was. They're nice and juicy. This one over here, this one is partially ripe, and you can see it's coming along. And what I like is that, you can see those ones, they look kind of like a very pale green on there. When you do this, what happens is that, you'll keep having a supply. Of course, this is not a lot of tomatoes because, like I said, I had 1 vine. But if you have a lot and you put them down to ripe, you're going to have tomatoes, like every 2 days you go in and you check them. If they're not ready, you put them back like I did. And these, I'm telling you guys, these were so juicy. We absolutely enjoyed them. They were delicious. So I definitely, recommend trying this method out to see if it works for you. You can leave me a note in the comments if you've ever tried to ripen them when they were green before, exactly what you did. And just to show you another set that I've done before over here, you can see the mixed sizes, came from different trees, different types, and how they ripened up for me here. So I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope you'll subscribe if you've never subscribed before. And if you think a friend might want to share it with a friend, it's always good to share things that are helpful with other people. I do want to thank you so much for watching. Hope you'll enjoy your tomatoes. And I do hope to see you in the next video. Take care.